Are there specific websites or news sources that you would recommend?
No,
don't look at the media.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It really comes down to focusing on events in the communities. But here's the issue. We've got two guys who are dissecting the death counts in different states across America because they're calling corona deaths, but they're calling any type of death a corona death. And so these two guys are going through all the research and the numbers to discern, is this a respiratory death? Okay, that can be can be actually attributed to corona, versus is it a death of diabetes, of cancer, a heart attack, a stroke? Okay, that person may have corona, but the corona then would be an underlying factor to the bigger issue. So our death count, I think, is so over bloated. And the media just buys into that and runs with that. And really anything that can make America look bad, to make Trump look bad, to make anything that we try to do here in America look bad, most of the media is going to run and jump on that. And that's those are the voices we normally hear. I really try to focus on actual things I can see or other people can see and report back, rather than focus on any media account.
Yeah, I think the other thing to add to what Dave is saying, I think as humans, we have almost like individual lenses, right? And so, like, for example, some may be more prone to get overly concerned, even going to depression or anxiety or why not. And then they go with that and share whatever information they are getting in, versus some others are maybe more calm. And we have, I think, that tendency to just buy into what sounds really bad instead of like kind of calm down. So therefore, I personally, for example, I try to be informed, but then not overly take that information, because then I start to get worried, then I start to be concerned, and my mind can go like 1,000 miles per hour, and I can have a bunch of ideas. Therefore, I need to renew my mind with things that are true. And as Christians, I mean, we know that fear not, or renew your mind, or like to think about things that are eternal. So therefore, like I want to consume more of that and less of the here and now, although I know that I need to be informed. So I wouldn't like to steer someone and be like, oh, you know what, you should go and check this out. Because once again, I don't know maybe how they deal with certain information.
Yeah, and something that people, I think more so now than ever, are coming to know is that the media sells sensationalism, because that is what feeds people's fear. It feeds people's drive to constantly consume hype, and it makes us that much more hyperactive. And so, but we also want to know, because we want to protect our families, we want to protect our communities. We have a deep desire to go out and surround those vulnerable individuals. So don't believe everything, like Monica was saying, a grain of salt with everything. I do have one individual that I will point people to, just because I know that he has lived in Wuhan, and he's quite famous actually in American media. I know you're all Americans, but for anybody else watching, and I will hold up his, I don't know if you'll be able to see his screen. Jack, can you see his handle there? There we go, on Twitter. And if you want to write that down, take a screenshot, do so. But he always has facts, and I know that he's connected to several individuals across the board, politically, in media. So he is a trustworthy source, and it's not hype. So, and he's conservative. So what we're doing here, he's also a Catholic Christian. So you got a little plug in there. But be aware of what is being said across all platforms, but don't feed on it. Be aware, but don't watch it. Like, don't just sit in front of the TV and let yourself soak it in, because what you soak in, like we're told in the word, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you want to be filling yourself up with what is good and true, and lifting your eyes. Like in Psalms, it says, I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord who made the mountains. So we have to set our sights a lot higher than what is just happening in our present circumstances, and not to just settle with what is being said in the here and now, but faith is what looks into the future and rejoices in that.
Mhm.
So looking forward, what do you want to see coming out of this? So the media doesn't focus on that. They don't care. They want to sell news here and now.